The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Kravik of the Zenthari Empire rose from his elevated seat. His 4 eyes gleamed with barely concealed contempt as he gestured toward the lone human representative, seated in the corner of the vast hall. "Look at them," Kravik announced, his voice echoing through the crystalline dome. "The humans. Soft flesh, fragile bones, no natural weapons. They cannot breathe methane like the Sulfarians. Cannot survive the radiation storms of Kepler 442b like my people. Cannot even regenerate lost limbs like the Verdani." Ambassador Sarah Chen sat motionless, her face an unreadable mask. Around her, representatives from 47 different species murmured in agreement. Some chittered, others hummed, but all shared the same sentiment. Humanity was the weakest link in the Galactic Council. And yet, Kravik continued, spreading his 6 arms wide, they demand equal representation, equal voice. They who have barely left their own solar system want to sit among civilizations that have traversed the cosmos for millennia. Sarah remained silent. She had learned, in her 3 years as Earth's ambassador, that silence was often humanity's greatest weapon. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them underestimate. The Zenthari had made first contact with Earth 7 years ago. They had arrived with promises of knowledge, technology, and a place among the stars. What they hadn't mentioned was that humanity would be joining the Council as a protectorate, a junior member with limited rights and no real power. Earth had been desperate for the advanced medicine and energy solutions the Council offered. So they had agreed, but Sarah had been watching, learning, understanding the true dynamics of galactic politics. "Perhaps," chirped Ambassador Thys of the insectoid Klixar Collective, "we should assign the human territories to Zenthari administration. For their own protection, of course." "Of course," Kravik agreed, mandibles clicking in what passed for a smile among his kind. Sarah stood slowly. The movement drew every eye in the chamber. She walked to the center of the floor, her footsteps the only sound in the enormous space. "You believe we are weak?" she said quietly. "You believe our silence is submission, is it not?" Kravik challenged. Sarah reached into her diplomatic pouch and withdrew a small data crystal. She placed it on the holographic projector at the chamber's center. Images began to bloom in the air, images that made several council members recoil. "This is Earth, 300 years ago," Sarah explained. The hologram showed cities in ruins, mushroom clouds rising into ash-filled skies. "We call this period the World Wars. In less than 50 years, we killed over 100 million of our own species. Not over resources, we had plenty. Not over territory, our planet was vast. We killed each other over ideas, over beliefs, over pride." The chamber had gone deathly quiet. "We discovered atomic fission, and within 2 years we had weaponized it. We split the atom and immediately asked ourselves, how can we make this destroy cities?" Sarah's voice remained calm, almost conversational. "We invented flight, and within 4 decades we were using it to rain fire from the skies. New images appeared. Chemical weapons, biological warfare, drone strikes, cyber warfare. Every tool we have ever created, we have weaponized. Every discovery we have made, we have asked ourselves, how can this kill more efficiently? We are not weak, Ambassador Kravik. We are terrifying. And we stay silent because we are afraid of what we might become if we don't." Thys's antennae twitched nervously. You would threaten the Council?" "No," Sarah said softly. "I would warn you. You see our lack of natural weapons as weakness. We see it as freedom. Freedom to craft weapons beyond your imagination. You evolved claws and fangs over millions of years. We built nuclear weapons in 3 years. We went from the first airplane to landing on our moon in 66 years. We are not slow. We are not weak. We are careful." She pulled up another image, this one of Earth's current defensive satellites, recently constructed with Council technology that humans had already begun to modify and improve. "You taught us fusion power to light our cities. We now understand how to make fusion bombs 1,000 times more powerful than our old atomic weapons. You gave us plasma technology for manufacturing. Our military scientists are currently exploring plasma-based weapon systems. You provided us with quantum communication. We are now developing quantum decryption methods that could crack every secure channel in Council space." Kravik's 4 eyes had widened. "The technology sharing agreement forbids—" "It forbids nothing that you didn't already do yourselves," Sarah interrupted. Every species in this council weaponized every technology they ever received. You assume we wouldn't because you see us as children. We are not children. We are survivors of 10,000 wars on a single planet. We unified not because we learned to love one another, but because we finally became frightened of our own capacity for destruction. She deactivated the hologram. You want to know why we stay silent? Because silence keeps you comfortable. Silence keeps you from realizing that the newest member of your council learned more about warfare in our brief, violent history than most of your species learned in eons. We stay silent because the alternative is showing you what we really are. Sarah walked back to her seat, her words hanging in the air like smoke after a fire. We do not want war, she said finally. We spent centuries learning that lesson in blood. We want peace. We want cooperation. We want to be part of this council as equals, not as subordinates. But make no mistake, our weakness is a choice. Our silence is a courtesy. And our patience, while considerable, is not infinite. Ambassador Kravik slowly lowered himself into his seat. Around the chamber, representatives who had been so confident moments before now looked at the small human ambassador with new understanding. Not with fear exactly, but with the wariness one shows a sleeping predator. Perhaps, Kravik said carefully, we should revisit the terms of Earth's membership in the Council. Sarah nodded once. I believe that would be wise. The vote was unanimous. As Sarah left the council chamber that day, she allowed herself the smallest smile. Humanity had finally learned the most important lesson of all. The most dangerous warrior is the one who has learned when not to fight, and the strongest voice is sometimes the one that chooses to remain silent, until silence is no longer enough.